Perfect.
Just take that down too. Oops.
Perfect. All right, February 2nd, 2026, I will call the Chickasaw County Board of Supervisors to convene. Roll call, all members are present, along with Board Secretary Sheila Shackleton. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda for the second that was published Friday?
So.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis to approve the February 2nd agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Approve the minutes from January 26, 2026, last Monday. Any corrections?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve to approve the minutes from last Monday. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Review and approve alcohol ownership update for the New Hampton Golf and Country Club. Sheila?
So what we received was they're putting new ownership. Karen Munson used to be on the board. Now they want to put Casey Hastings, so you guys need to acknowledge, or you need to approve, I should say, that you have seen this.
Is there a motion to approve the updated ownership management of the New Hampton Golf and Country Club?
I'll move. Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve to approve the alcohol ownership update for the New Hampton Golf and Country Club. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. I think we got about 2 minutes. Just want to give a quick update. I know 3 of us attended the statewide supervisor meeting hosted by ISAC last Thursday in Des Moines. Couple takeaways, is the 3 proposed property tax reform bills, one by the House, one by the Senate, and one by the governor. It just shows that I think something will happen this year. There's pros and cons with all 3 of them, but I guess they're gonna have to get together and figure it out. Anything else, board members? Some of the panel was up there, some lawmakers were on the panel after lunch. Some of the questions are these unfunded mandates, example, Back to Blue, example, Veterans Affairs Office. It seems like they pass laws in Des Moines and then they make property owners and county government to bear the price of that. Some of the lawmakers on the panel, they brought up about schools and how they're consolidated. And there was one school district that had a superintendent that did 4 school districts, so, to me, they're trying to make county and city government go that way, work together, and stop having the duplication of services if they're out there, and to be more efficient. Anything else, Travis or Scott, that I missed?
No, I think there was quite a bit of discussion on the school property taxes and why some of the proposals weren't addressing it and why one was. And I think that was all driven from our levy letter that gets sent out, and we get flooded with people complaining about school board or school taxes rather than anything else.
So I think one bill has more graphs, more explanation about that letter that's in the House File 718. Anything else, Travis, you picked up on? Or?
You gave pretty much his role.
Okay. Sounds good. 9:05, any public comment, Sheila?
No.
Moving on then, down the agenda, Engineer Roman Lensing. Good morning, Roman.
Morning, all.
Looks like you got two action items. First one is review bids for Chickasaw County Bridge Replacement Project BROS CO 19-120 AJ 19 on Vanderbilt Avenue over Little Turkey. Section 15 T96 R11 let through the Iowa DOT on January 21st, 2026. Award contract to Taylor Construction, Inc. for the amount of $1,058,994.66 and authorize Chickasaw County Engineer Roman Lensing to sign contract on the Chickasaw County Board of Supervisors behalf with the resolution that was adopted in 09.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so recommend
This
award.
resolution.
It did come in higher than the estimate by 14%, likely due to having the key into solid bedrock. We haven't had one of these in well over a decade, not my time here, so we were a little off on the estimate. They were competitive bids though, until you get to the third one, which was 67% over, so I would suggest awarding the project to Taylor. This is our last remaining open truss bridge. It is posted considerably, so.
This is in our board packet, so if any questions with that or the agenda item, is there a motion to approve 22-26-09 resolution?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Scott to approve resolution 2-26-09 to award contract and delegate contract signing in Dock Express. Any discussion?
Just so you guys are aware too, the two bridge projects, the total bid was 99.69% of the estimates combined, which bodes well for our HPP fund balance, so pretty much what we anticipated if you take them both into consideration.
If there's no discussion, comments, we'll do a roll call on the resolution 09. Travis?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Jake, aye. Resolution is adopted. Review bids for Chickasaw County Bridge Replacement Project BROS CO 19-121 AJ 19 on 190th Street over Plum Creek, Section 3, Township 95 R12. Let through the Iowa DOT on January 21st, 2026. Award contract to Peterson Contractors, Inc. for the amount of $597,709.75 and authorize Chickasaw County Engineer Roman Lensing to sign contract on the Chickasaw County Board of Supervisors behalf while this resolution number 10.
So the estimate for this one was basically, well, I'll just say 732,995.16, comes in at 81.54% of the estimate, so we got a really good bid on that one. Yes, I would definitely recommend awarding this one to Peterson. Again, this is right now this one's posted at a one truck only sign series. We do that to alleviate any actual numerical posting. Otherwise this one would be much lower, so. And that's kind of a main way to get to the ethanol plant if you're not using the state highway.
Any questions on resolution 10? Now is there a motion to approve resolution 10?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 10. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to approve resolution 22-26-10. A resolution for a county to award contract and delegate contract signing at Dock Express. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Jake, aye. Resolution is adopted 5-0. Department update, Ron.
Last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had one-ways maintainers out cleaning up bad spots with the high winds. The snow just kept blowing. We did have to send one-way out yesterday from about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. just in the southwest quadrant of the county. We were getting a lot of blow on and sticking. Of course, through the evening, then we got some of that drizzle that froze. Guys went out this morning as well. Aside from that, last week it was a lot of brushing, mixing sand and salt. Main maintaining trucks, cleaning blades, chains, servicing equipment, washing them. Sam is looking, we got 3 quotes for belly dump trailers. We're waiting on another, from what he's heard, it's a slightly cheaper one by like hundreds of dollars, but they might have one on the ground ready to be purchased now. Otherwise, we're looking at May or June, so we might be getting into a FY27, if that's the case. I'll keep you posted when I hear from him. Aside from that, a lot of design and development work, several projects, working with a lot of utilities. For example, Southland, we're dealing with a gas line, but Black Hills Energy has been great to work with. Engineer's office building, we had builder's risk requested documents from Heartland Insurance. I got them all that they requested. Steve Bendit obtained his PC2 certification in Boone. Then Iowa DOT local systems update meeting was held in Coralville last Thursday. The week prior, Monday, 1/19, we had one-ways and maintainers out at 5 a.m. to 3:30. Wednesday, 1/21, we had the same, or 5 a.m., one-ways out at 5 a.m. till 3:30, maintainers normal time. Thursday, 1/22, we had one-ways and maintainers out 5 a.m. to 3:30. Then Friday, we had to go out again at 8 to 12:30. We did submit info for a mulching head to conservation for a potential grant application. That'd be for mulching head that's mounted on an excavator, a rubber tired one. Dealt a lot with the lettings that we just went over. Had a 6-county meeting on 1/22. A few of you attended. Thank you for attending. I feel it was a good meeting again. And then I did send you guys info in regards to the Fredericksburg shop. Sounds like, talked with Jimmy Mitchell. He said the city does still plan to move and sell in the next couple of years. No set date. They would be willing to include language specifying that the county retains their portion in any agreement with potential buyers. So I know at some point we'll look more into that, but I don't know what you guys need to be decided or agreed upon prior to doing any repairs in Fredericksburg on our portion of the shop. So I guess I would recommend that if we're gonna do something, we do it this coming summer or.
You're talking about the 40,000 that was put in the budget for next year for insulation of the roof and fixing the roof.
New roof and insulation, similar to what we did in Alta Vista this past year. It's needed. The only difference is that we're sharing the building with another entity, so.
And technically, we don't own it.
Technically, yeah, we built it.
You have a comment on there, no, you don't. Can you give an update about the shared project potential of the city of New Hampton, South Industrial Park?
They sent a 2080 agreement that was not very well updated, to be honest with you, so I sent them another revised one with my comments. I know David looked at it, I don't know if you sent them any comments.
We got that, and they made the changes. I don't know if they're asking us to approve it still, or they're still going forward.
They mentioned something about coming back up.
Yep, so Tammy Robinson, economic developer, will come back up and.
Because originally it was to include it, then it was, oh, maybe we're not going to, and now move forward with including it. But the 2080 didn't really specify as well as I would like it to, who's responsible for costs. And it didn't even specify whose jurisdiction the road is under, so I cleared that up.
So I guess we're just waiting on our half, or maybe one of us, maybe I can reach out to Tammy and see if are we okay with 2080 as written between you two, Dave and Roman?
I have changed.
Yeah, with the changes, I'm fine with it.
I think they made those.
So I guess they're just hopefully get on the agenda, Sheila, or we can reach out to Tammy and see
Okay.
if they want that to be reviewed and approved, I guess. Any questions for Roman?
Also, I know, still fingers crossed, I guess kind of a department update topic. I don't know what the federal government is taking so long for, but we have a 2024 CHPP application, $2 million grant for 2 bridges. We have not heard anything. The state of Iowa is basically guaranteed $32.5 million in 24 and 25, so it's almost a shoo-in to get this grant. The tough part, and I brought this up the last 2 DOT meetings that I've been to and haven't gotten much of a good answer. Said that it basically continue through project development, but you can't submit check plans until you have a funding agreement in place. So right now, our check plans are due, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe sometime probably in September or August. It might be something, and I've been trying to figure out how we can leapfrog some projects if needed, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to. So if this doesn't get, the funding doesn't get awarded prior to the deadline, we're just gonna keep pushing that letting back. And if it becomes ridiculous, we might not have any contract bridges in 2027. So
Maybe visit with.
$2 million is nice, but it's nicer when it comes on schedule.
So,
And the DOT's been in communication with the FHWA, and they're kind of just pushing them along, saying we anticipate to announce early spring. They also said we would have known probably 6 months ago. I don't know if the shutdowns had anything to do with it, or I don't know. But still hopeful. It's just getting to be to that point where it's like, please just award it so we can move forward.
sounds good. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Moving on down is EMA Director Jeff Bernance. Good morning, Jeff. First thing is to discuss fiscal year 26-27 budget request.
Yep, we had a meeting, last Wednesday. Had a good discussion. Dave explained some stuff. I had some good questions. Prior to that meeting, Ryan and I went through the budget, put a lot of that out. Got down to a new number. New number is 145,255. And if you plug that into the revenues, did you get the revenue sheet? What's more? Comes to 113,755. There was a vote on funding mechanism, had a good discussion on that. Dave explained some stuff to everybody, and all the different options work. It was voted to do special levy 29C17 2A, I believe, for the funding mechanism. So we are requesting an amount of 113,755.
How was the vote, Isaac or Jeff, on the funding mechanism?
It was 8-0. Now is everybody in attendance?
Yeah. I know it's a law change, and hopefully they can visit this law change this year. Still a strong believer that you have a fiscal agent forcing a levy rate on our general supplemental. And I strongly believe we control that levy rate. I think they misled when they passed that law, that they didn't contradict the law of the home rule. But this is between me and the lawmakers, and hopefully the lawmakers can fix that change. Because it is sad when your commission is made up, 90% of city mayors, when they don't represent a single person out in the country. That is wrong when the rural people only has one voice on that commission, when that rural person that we put on that commission is trying to fight the taxpayers' money, and the mayors over trump that when they don't represent the rural people whatsoever, or the property owners whatsoever. So the law needs to be changed, and I did some lobbying myself to try to fix that law, because I get what 29C says, but the home rule, we are the taxing authority on all properties of Chickasaw County. The
Like I said, we had
the mayors are not, and I get it.
Good discussion.
Yeah.
We really did. And Dave and I both did an excellent job, and then the vote. The vote went the way it did. I guess I don't have any control of that, but.
So Isaac, you submitted a paper this morning.
Yeah, so per capita was what we discussed as well. Just have numbers here that
Yeah, you
I think
bring.
Ryan put together on reading it.
Yeah.
Just kind of what it would look like if it were per capita.
which I attended the meeting also, and at that meeting, it would have gone per capita to $9.47. So that's what numbers you have in this bucket. I guess my thoughts is that we fund $65,172. If you figure 72% of that, that would mean rural people would be funding at $9.47. And then the shortfall would be on the backs of the cities. And then if you gotta use your ending fund balance, that's what you gotta use. Then maybe the cities would step up, because it's actually them, they're the ones that didn't fund.
I get it. And I've been saying that for 10 years. I agree, Steve. Whatever happened, why did it ever get changed 11 years ago, 10 years ago?
One of the mayors asked that question at the
Yeah.
meeting the other night. He wondered when it got changed, why it got changed, and nobody could answer that.
I mean, I appreciate the lower budget from what, Jeff? It was 255, 252, down to 145. I thank the commission and you for getting it down to 145. It's a little bit more in line with some of our neighbors. But the funding mechanism is what gets me going. And how the vote is with 29 seats. Our single person will never outvote, or when they don't have no skin in the game. Any other board member? So are you asking for the request of 113,755? Is that what the EMC requested? Any other board members' opinion? I guess, go back to you. What did you say we should request?
65,172. Is the rural funds, GS at 72%. That would make our funding at 46,924, which is the 947 per capita. 4,955 rural residents.
It says 60.
I think it's at 65,172 coming from GS. Travis, anything, Scott?
I have, like I said, I'll take care of the rural residents. We've done that the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with what Steve's proposed. I think that's, I actually did some lobbying on Thursday while out there morning early at the Capitol. Got a chance to talk to some Farm Bureau people down there and explaining the 29C law, and they firmly believe that it needs to be changed.
They gonna do anything about it?
They're gonna try.
Conversation all day long, but they're
They're
gonna do
gonna
anything
try,
about
but I don't know, because they're
It's not
gonna-
top priority problem for them right now.
It might be now. I did visit with our house member, Charlie Thompson, on Saturday at the town hall, and I visited with him about the 2 laws. I gave him copies of the 2 laws, and he sees the problem. Because again, we are the tax authority of GBGS, and how can a fiscal agent control our levy rates when they don't serve up here? It's just what it comes down to, right? And they don't represent the rural people. They don't,
You do have one person on the board that does represent the rural people.
and I get that.
Don't say that they don't have anybody representing the rural people.
I'll go back to, you have a weighted vote of a city that serves 42
I get
people.
that, but let's be fair.
Yep, and we do represent, I think, well on EMC. But that one vote will never outvote the other 9, or the other 8. Would they, Jeff?
No,
If they did, they would have voted that way Wednesday night.
I'm just saying, let's not say that there's no representation for rural. But I understand what you're saying, well, and we've talked, Jake, we've been
Yep.
arguing this for 7 years,
I don't think we're arguing it. I think
discussing it.
the home rule is our levy rate, right? Would you disagree to that or agree? That we control that. We have the public meetings, we have the public hearings, we have the budget certification. That is our vote. So how can a fiscal agent tell us how to levy taxes? Right? That's my hiccup in the whole thing. Any different funding mechanism, Isaac, or are you 65, 170?
I mean, we did have a consensus on the 130, I will state that. While I do agree with you guys, is he gonna be able to operate with 65,172, or the city's gonna kick in anyway?
That's a
I
commission.
would say, based on the discussion at the commission, that's not gonna happen.
Like I said, me, my vote, I don't have any taxing authority in my role here at the county, so. Yeah,
I get it.
yep.
But I would like to understand too, out of those 8 mayors, why don't they want to fund it? Do they give a reason why they don't want to fund it? Do they see it not important?
I think some of the discussion that I can recall, and help me if I'm wrong here, is that I think one of the comments was all property tax taxpayers pay into GS. I think that was a big talking point. Agree with it or not, I think that was one of the topics of discussion.
But that goes into a lot of the other things that
I'm just saying that was
No, I
one
get it.
topic
I
of
get it.
discussion.
we have special elections, city schools that they pay for, we have law enforcement drive-through service they pay for. There's a couple more things that they always bring up that they pay for. That's the difference from city government and county government, in my opinion.
When I brought up the fact that the rural property taxpayers paid for 72% of the GS, and I think it maybe surprised a few of the mayors that were there, they didn't understand that, but in the end, they still voted it, wanted it out of GS.
Because I want the lawmakers to understand in Des Moines too, if they want to pass a tax reform bill at 2% tax asking growth, and this agency sits over here and demands a number, it's going to suffer in county government, the other agencies that we do control, if we have to stay within that 2% growth. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Can you explain one more time, Steve, where you came up with that number?
Well, they talked the other night about 947 per capita if it would have been funded that way.
Okay.
So took 947 times the rural population, 4955.
Yep.
Which would come up with 46,924 that the rural would be obligated to.
If it was a per capita.
Right.
Yep.
Divided that by 0.72 to get 65,172.
Okay.
So that way, rural funds it at their per capita rate that it figured out to. So then the shortfall would come from the cities, not the rural.
Where did you get your population number? I pulled mine off the census page and it was 4964.
It's using my sheet, I was going up that one stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying, I just carried off the census sheet, so I don't know which ones are right.
2020 federal census official count, population Chickasaw County.
I think the 9 of Protovin that live in Chickasaw County, they don't have a voice at the table.
And that's from my numbers, that I had that for now.
So if you add the
Gotcha.
9 people of Protovin to our county census,
Okay.
would be that 90.
They're
That'd be
figured,
the.
they're figured in the cities. The 9 probably are figured in the cities. 7,057.
Oh, I see. So just to be clear, Jeff, is your commission asking us in a tax asking the 113,755? Is that the number they're asking for?
Yes. And we've been thankful for the 130 in the past, even though it wasn't a tax estimate, we were able to make that work. And obviously this is lower than that. Yeah, so we did do our part to help bring the numbers down.
What kind of ending fund balance would you have in June of 27 with this tax asking?
128.
Minus the 75 designated for.
Correct.
I note the problems in the law. I note in 29C, I noted in the 331 home rule, you know, we need this agency. It's required by law. You know, has this ever been litigated? I was asked that over the weekend. No, I don't want to be the first kind to litigate it. I think they need to change the rules and the law because they understand there's a problem. I think everybody in Des Moines knows it's a problem, but it comes down to the weighted vote. To me, this acts like if we read the 29C the way it's wrote, to me, then it seems like they have their own tax authority, right? If they can force that tax authority onto the county board of supervisors, indeed, they have their own tax authority then. And there was a couple senators last years that wanted to have their own levy authority. Jeff, you know that. But how many more fiscal agents can we give tax authority to when they want to reform taxation? I think our biggest leap forward is just to keep lobbying the people in Des Moines to fix this issue. I think our biggest leap forward is just to keep lobbying the people in Des Moines to fix this issue. With the ending fund balance I asked, that's about 50,000 in there. If you spend the whole budget, I won't be popular for this, but I think we give them the 100,000. But that's where my 2 cents are. I mean, the law has to be fixed. And I think I got movement that some lawmakers understand now that the law has to be fixed. They contradict each other. Bottom line. If that means they give EMCs their own levy rate and not go on the backs of us. And that the people understand that your mayors that don't represent you out in the country will dictate to you what your levy rate is on that tax authority. So they need to do something. They need to give the EMC their own levy rate, which I'm not in favor of, but if that's what the fix is, fix it. Because I've been doing this for 10 years, Jeff knows that. I strongly believe we control the tax levy. That's who they come up and chew our ear off with. They don't show up to the EMC's meeting. So I don't know if I persuade that with anybody else.
And I will just share with one of the gentlemen I talked to in the morning, Thursday, understood the 29C. He basically feels like they already have their own levy rate the way they operate, and made the comment that gives the EMC a higher priority on their budget than the sheriff's department. And, you know, when you think about it, it is, because they can come in and demand they want this money. Ryan can't do that.
No. So I heard 3 people at 65, 172. I'm willing to negotiate like 100,000. I don't know anybody else is with the comments we've heard this morning on this request. Otherwise, the consensus is 65, 172, unless somebody wants to change it or.
I guess for our purposes for public hearing, can we get a vote on this? So we kind of go to public hearing.
Right now, yeah.
Knowing potentially, because my next question would be, you know, the commission, we go to a public hearing, let's just use the 65, for example. And we decide, okay, we need to reduce our budget so we don't have to pull all from fund balance. Does that mean the county share would be less than if our per capita rate would ultimately be less? I think we kind of need to go in our public hearing knowing levies sit.
But see, that opens the second part of our levy rate.
Yep.
Our levies doesn't have to be certified until April 30th. What if we get 5,000 people up here and says GS is way too high, right?
Yep.
Because we answer to that. And this is weird because your budget is certified by February 28th.
Mhm.
And that's the issue that's been out there for years, is hard to answer. We listen to the people, we're supposed to, that elect us, and if they come in that door and at our public hearing says, raise, lower taxes, and we say, well, our hands are tied, we have to give you 113,000. That's when we're gonna start laying off other people and what else we do? So, I guess, is there a motion then to put this in our budget at what number? Again, pending the public hearing. That's what's wrong with this. It is our levy authority, our levy rate.
I'll move that we fund EMC $65,172. On GS.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, seconded by Scott to fund EMC 65,172 out of GS.
Pending public hearing.
Well, see that, exactly, pending public hearing, because,
That's why the law's interpreted the way it is, because they go first and they demand in your word their money, you give it to them, and then you deal with the consequences a month later.
exactly,
But that's why the law's written that way. I mean, that's why it's interpreted that way, she said.
there you go.
Yes. Some have interpreted it that way, because that makes logical sense, the interpretation.
I just wanted to go first.
It might not make sense to you physically, but it makes sense logically.
Because we can't, allocate funds without the public hearing. And this is what's sticky about the law. We are actually allocating 65,172 without a public hearing. You guys see my point? So read the motion back, I guess. Is it allocating? Is it funding? Is it, Steve, have any different words to use? Because we have not held a public hearing on fiscal budget 26, 27.
We go through this every year. In the last few years, we've funded 130 before. So
What we do with it.
I think in the past it was a consensus and not a vote, because it is very hard for us to vote on something when we have not held a public hearing yet. It's just my 2 cents. Would you agree, Dave?
Well, what's
This
your
is
option?
more like a contract.
Your option is what, you come back on April 30th and you have to lower the GS and lower that number further? I mean, I suppose you can vote on your intent to do so pending, you can do it.
I think it should be pending public hearing.
Consensus, you can say, hey, it's pending our final budget, that's the number we're gonna put in our budget, initially put in our budget to give you. Pending our final hearing.
I would add that to my motion.
I think that protects us, because the state auditor's office always told me, we have not approved this budget yet because of the pending public hearing. Now do we understand the motion by Steve, second by Scott?
Yeah. I'm good with it.
All right, if there's no other discussion, we'll do a roll call. Steve?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Isaac?
Nay.
Travis?
Aye.
Jake? Nay at this time. Motion passed 3-2. I think we just continue to work with the lawmakers. They see the issue. Charlie knows the issue. He's an attorney himself, so he's working on it. Hopefully we potentially might see a committee bill. Discuss EMS employment. We refer this to Dave to give an update like you did to the EMC on Wednesday night.
Well, in the words of the late John McLaughlin, issue number 2. So this was brought up at the EMA commission. So I've been recruited by the auditor's office and the HR human resource attorney out of Des Moines to go to the autonomous boards and speak with them regarding their arrangements with their individual directors and employees. Because as everybody knows, public health, Veterans Affairs, Conservation, and EMA are kind of unique beasts. They each have their own autonomous board that regulates them, that sets their budget based upon money that you guys allocate for them, and give them, but they ultimately determine how their individual employees are structured and their pay rate. So what we need is for an update from each of them to vote on how they want to structure their pay rate. Currently, Conservation, Public Health, and EMA, which is Jeff, are all operating as full-time exempt status, which is kind of a unique beast. It means that they work 40 hours a week. They do not get comp or overtime, but they do accrue vacation and sick time. So it's kind of a hybrid arrangement. When we go into Conservation tomorrow night to talk to them about it as well. So we talked about it at the EMA meeting, whether Jeff wants to change that structure to something else. That's entirely up to his commission, those commissioners as to how they want to structure it. So that's the first thing they need to do, in my opinion, at their next meeting, is vote on how they want Jeff to be their employee going forward, if they want to keep their current arrangement. The corollary to that is we do have some employees in the county, including Jeff, that work for multiple divisions within the county. The human resources attorney thinks there might be an issue with that with respect to potentially running afoul of federal labor laws. So we need to be careful about having employees work for multiple departments, but still being paid by the county from the one single EIN number with respect to overtime. So that was discussed with the EMA Commission as well. Obviously, this board voted a couple of years ago when the EMS was formed to allow Jeff to work extra as an EMS employee in addition to his full-time exempt position as an EMA employee. So we discussed the issues that presents and some potential options to address those issues.
I did see Jeff's time card this morning, has been approved by me, and it looks like, and I did talk to the director, Joel Knutson. It looks like you didn't work the last 2 weeks in EMS.
I did, but I took it off.
You didn't, you used 0, you put down 0. So that is an option.
So just so I'm clear, Julie, you can jump in too if you're at the meeting, but what I told the EMA Commission is the issue is not Jeff running for the ambulance. So I'm sure I'm clear on that. So if the EMA Commission decides that they want to allow Jeff at 9 a.m., he's in the EMA office to go hop on an ambulance because they need help, that's not the issue. The issue is the overtime pay for the EMS worker. So we're trying to find a solution to address that issue.
In all 4 autonomous boards,
Correct.
not just this one.
Correct, and we do have a couple of employees who work for EMS and the sheriff's office that are in a similar boat. So we just need to make sure we're staying in the right lane and not veering into some problems with the federal law.
Agreed. Does this board then, I guess I'm gonna ask a consensus or a motion, is it okay that Jeff works EMS like he did the last 2 weeks and put 0 hours down? I think it's, thank you for doing that. But I think we run into some federal law issues of, in the past practice.
So what I told the EMA Commission Wednesday night was that one of their options would be to essentially not have Jeff work for the EMS anymore. It's not really their call, but they can advise him of that. He's your employee through EMS. You allow him to do it. So if in fact you decide at some point, after consultation with the EMA, which might be interesting now, or at any point, how you want to structure that. Ultimately, it's your trigger, in my opinion, because he's your employee through that department. But that's up to you, whether you guys want to say, hey, he's no longer, he can still run through EMA whenever he wants. He's just not going to get paid extra beyond his EMA salary. And I advised the EMA Commission that at their next meeting, they should think about all this stuff and talk about it and come up with a plan, but that at any point you guys could jump in and supersede them if you so chose to do so. But I don't know if you're there yet.
I'm not, because what I saw this morning, I'm okay with. Because I think, thank you for putting down 0, and I guess the only area is if he starts working 20 hours a day. That'd be the only issue that I see. It's gonna be up to you, Jeff. If you can run on a truck, so be it, great. But I don't want somebody to be working 80 hours a week. So I think if he can manage that time, and the way he proved it this morning, he didn't put down 0 hours for EMS.
My only question would be is, and I think that's the way to do it, but how does that affect our workers' comp? If he's not clocked in on that ambulance and gets hurt, and because he's writing down that he wasn't there.
That's an insurance question.
That's my
So if we
only.
were to, just a question here, if we were to add that to the EMA job description with the EMA umbrella of that?
It may, I don't know, I mean, it's something you
Be
gotta.
part of the duties.
Yeah.
That's something the EMA commission needs to take up.
Correct. Part of the discussion.
Yeah, and
And I
that's where we have to go.
And I guess my other question is going through all the EMA bylaws now, that has the EMA commission ever set your core hours that you're to be working for them? You know, is it,
Is it written in there?
well, it's the commission's job, but it's, I don't have a copy with me right now.
And the thing is, Scott, when we were at meeting Wednesday, if you go back on my time cards in the last 7 years, there's not one in there for 40.
Well, I get that, I just,
I mean,
I think it needs to be, I think your core hours need to be defined.
And I can just jump in because I don't think it's been brought up yet, but the EMA commission had proposed using some of the E911 money to pay their budget. And if that's the case, Jeff's already doing that work for E911. I think there was a discussion about the job description needs to be amended to include that. So perhaps when they overhaul all of this, in my anticipation, at their next meeting, that should be brought up and thrown in the hopper as well. The core hours and everything. I think it all needs to be evaluated, in my opinion. I have a recommendation to them. I'm not their attorney, but serve as such at times.
Anybody want to have a consensus, or the way he's doing it now is acceptable? With some insurance questions.
Yeah, I can reach out to the department and just have a discussion on that, but otherwise I'm fine with it, I mean, it's,
I'm fine with it, but I do think we need to check with our.
Oh, definitely. We want you to protect it under workers' comp or even any other kind of liability in that truck or at the shop.
I got a question that with Ryan, is that you have some employees that do run on the EMS.
EMS work for us in dispatch, it's
How
more,
does
yeah.
that work for overtime?
So we talked about that this week, me, Sheila and Joel, and there was some correspondence with Mike on Friday, I don't think he responded to mine, where mine, Carly down there is the main one, she's full-time EMS. If she's offered hours, she doesn't have to take them. If we have open shifts, I'm okay paying her the overtime rate, because I'd probably have to pay it anyway to have somebody fill in as a full-time person. So I have no problem paying her overtime rate when she's in my office.
Well, I think you almost have to, don't you?
I think that's the consensus we came to, yes. And Mike just wanted to clarify that she can deny these hours, say, hey, Carly, we've got an open shift on Friday from noon till midnight, do you want to pick it up? No, I don't. I'm not requiring her to do that. It's on her own choice. And like I said, I have no problem paying overtime, because it goes out to full-time first, and then we go to our part-time on-call as needed, if you look to get offered up.
It's a complicated issue, and I'm not the HR attorney, so I'm just relaying the message all the time. But it's a complicated issue because it depends upon whether you're part-time for the job, whether you're full-time, whether you're salaried, whether you're exempt, et cetera, et cetera. And my understanding from the meeting we had a couple of Fridays ago was that there's not an exact formula that says, hey, if you work X, you're entitled to Y. There's multi-factors that go into how the feds look at those employment decisions. That's how I understood
Yeah.
how we.
So I think the biggest issue is all W-2 on County 19, County Chickasaw. That's the issue. You can go work as many part-time jobs at the local whatever store. That's on your own.
Correct.
Right.
It's all, the issue is the W-2 comes out of this office.
We have one EIN.
Yeah, I mean, we had that discussion, we hired an EMS director, how many hours we want them? Are they gonna spend as much time at their regular job or their other job as this job?
And the other,
But the issue was in-house, that's the issue.
In-house.
the other employee is part-time down there, so Joel and I have to make sure that person doesn't get over 35 hours in a week. If so far it hasn't happened, and going forward with Carly, get some clarification from Mike today. I have no problem if she's working for me, paying her overtime rate for when she, based on her pay scale in our office.
well, I know when we had that meeting with Mike, we kind of discussed that back and forth with your employees and nurses. you know, the best, this just doesn't necessarily solve the problem. The best thing to do is when you're calling them to see if they can work, how many hours do you have left that you can work this week?
But with the one, she's full-time anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be automatic time. When you run into a 24/7 operation like the two of us do, we can't hang a sign on the door, forward calls to somebody else.
So could she collect comp time? If she's in your office?
She could, but she'd have to probably use it on her full-time.
Right.
With EMS.
That's what I wondered.
That'd be a Joel decision.
Yeah, I think the cleanest way is just pay her overtime.
And just be done with it.
Any other questions about this, new guidance from our HR attorney? Anybody, I guess, did I have a consensus, everybody's
I
okay?
got two people, I got Scott and Travis, yes.
You okay, Isaac, Steve, me, yeah. But again, we appreciate what you do, Jeff, the county citizens appreciate it too. The issue is the federal law issue. Hopefully understand. All right, moving on then to the next thing on the agenda is Sheriff Ryan. Good morning, Ryan.
Morning again.
Acknowledge position change from civil clerk to dispatch for Nicole Ackerson, effective January 19th, 2026.
Yeah, so when we lost a staff member, July 1 of this year, we kind of had to reevaluate how we operate our office and our civil department and dispatch. So Nicole is currently at the civil clerk position at her 80 hours pay period. She's also still certified dispatcher. She agreed to jump back in what we call to the rotation of dispatch. And then her and Catherine kind of shared the civil part-time. Between Catherine and Nicole, they've done a lot of efficiencies in that position in our office. And I can honestly say, we can also say we don't feel that's 100% a full-time position anymore based on the efficiencies that they've made and how busy our civil office is. And they do civil and administrative duties. So come end of December, 1st of January, Nicole's had some personal life changes, chose a different shift, which kind of really jived into doing a whole lot of civil duties. So she's 100% dispatch now. I've explained to her, she fully understands and gets it, means she's not doing any of those civil-related duties. Then unfortunately have to, reevaluate the pay scale and put it back down to the current union rates. Completed 5 years at $27.97, and then she's got the 15 cents length of service increases wise, that's $28.12. So that's just the biggest change there. And then since then Kathy's kind of taken on, which is the next topic of discussion, her civil duties along with her full-time duties as chief dispatcher. So she's jumped into that at first. I asked her to do it, she didn't push back, and she's done a great job with it as well. But Nicole still knows how to do a lot of civil duties, so when we get in a pinch, she can still jump in, but her day-to-day 100% job is dispatching, so that's why we decided to make that pay change.
And she understands.
Yeah, she fully understands. Yeah, she's not doing any of those duties on a day-to-day or every other day kind of basis that it's not part of her job description anymore.
Is she willing to sign off on the motion?
Yeah, I mean,
The decrease of pay?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't have any issues down the road.
Mhm.
That she understands what's going on and the decrease of 46 cents is coming off.
Correct.
Is there a motion to approve that, acknowledge that position change from civil clerk to dispatcher for Nicole Ackerson effective in the 19th of January? New rate will be $28.12, I believe, right?
Which includes your length of service increases. Yeah. So it looks different than union contract, but it's all union contract language.
I thought I was reading that wrong to start with. You never see a pay rate.
No, you don't. No, she fully understands it.
You're thinking, oh, she'll screw it up.
It's a different pathway, and her personal life right now is just allowing her to kind of take out some of these duties. So
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to acknowledge the position change for Nicole Ackerson from civil clerk to dispatcher, still full-time, effective January 19th, 2026, from a rate of $28.58 down to a $28.12. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye, anybody opposed? Motion carried. Next thing then, like he talked about, discuss and possible act on addressing a potential pay increase for Kathy Knudsen as she is now taking on all the duties of that are associated with the civil clerk along with your full-time chief dispatching duties.
Correct. So talk to Mike on this and to bring up to the board, see if the board has an appetite. I mean, this both fall into the union contract. If this board would, as Mike calls it, have the appetite to potentially open up the current union contract to address a wage increase for Kathy. I feel she deserves it. It shows that she stepped up. She's pretty much doing a full-time job as chief dispatcher. She works behind the comm still, keeps up our 911 stuff, our NCIC certifications, all of our audits we have to do, and then also with the civil end of things and administrative. She does all the month-end things. She does all the more uniform crime reporting. She does all the things in the civil office. So it's pretty much doing a full-time job, and I call it a part-time job on top of it. So that's up to this board if they're interested in going down that road.
Current rate with longevity is $29.67. Is that correct? That's what I have.
So current rate is $29.47. She's definitely higher. I think she's at 20 cents additional based on her. She's been with me for 20 years, I believe.
So with longevity, I got her at $29.67. Yeah, I did check with Mike too, just because I didn't know all the inside lines, sorry.
No.
Yeah, it'd be an MOU if we are willing to open the union contract for said employee. So we would just do a memorandum of understanding. If we want to give additional wage adjustment, and then I suppose we would negotiate it then in November, December for next contract. But at this time, is there an appetite for a wage adjustment, an MOU for a union employee?
You have a recommendation of the amount?
I kind of have a number in my mind, but I have zero. It'd be her and her union rep to discuss it. I have a number in mind. I have no problem sharing. I think she needs at least another $2 an hour increase, in my opinion, on top of her current rate.
So number one, we don't have to open the union contract. Number two, I'm not gonna use names, please apologize for me. What did Nicole make from previous additionally in the union contract when she became civil clerk?
So civil clerk rate currently is in the union contract is $28.43 for that position. That doesn't include any longevity rates. That's just the flat rate.
How many hours a day does she give?
It varies. I mean, she's there if she gets time to jump up there. I would say on an average anywhere from 3 to 6 a day. I mean, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
So again, this is more duties. That was never in their union contract. I appreciate the efficiencies. You guys heard some numbers, you got the 46 cents that was taken away. Could we give that back? Do you want to give her an extra, $1 maybe? I don't know. We heard potentially 2. If we can't do anything, this will be in the union negotiation next winter.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it comes up this, winter, this fall, winter 26.
Any other movement? I get the additional duties. It's a position that was held by a full-time person prior to Nicole.
Yes.
I guess I'd have to know too, is there room in the budget to pay this additional?
I feel based on how I've got things budgeted, I can absorb it currently and what I propose for next fiscal year.
Any other comments, concerns, questions? So we got to ask ourselves 2 things. Do we want to open the contract and give an MOU to Kathy Knudsen? When did she start doing these duties?
The part-time is when, July 1st, when we lost that position, so she and Nicole were kind of piggybacking it. And since the 1st of January, she's kind of taken it all on herself. So she's busy during month end, as she knows, during those kind of times.
Any discussion? Any movement? I guess I'm gonna use the word Mike and Ryan said, any appetite?
Tactics.
I guess I would support an increase. I'm not sure if I'd go for 2, but
And I can't negotiate that. That's just something if you guys decide to do that, union rep you up here, you can show Mike here on the phone or whatever. That's all you guys got.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not a negotiation because we can say no right now.
Yeah, correct.
So it's up to us if we feel good faith, but this job title needs some incentive. But we all know it's gonna come in next union negotiation.
like I said, I'd support $1 and then see what we do in negotiations with the union.
I mean, you need this person, unless you're gonna do it.
Kathy's got a lot of experience and knowledge for sure. And it's all, it's up to the board what they want to do, and
Exactly.
after that, it's giving recommendations all along, but the union contract, you guys are the ones that negotiate everything.
Isaac, got anything?
Yeah, I'd be okay with $1 for now. But I guess, I hate opening the contract this close to negotiating again, but I'd be in favor of opening it up, see what we can do.
Just do the $1 then, we don't need to negotiate.
Well, if you want to
Talk
just do
Mike,
$1.
do an
If we want to
MOU.
do $1, we can just do an MOU. I'd be fine with $1.
Travis.
That's fine with me, other than I don't want to open
Oh, yeah.
contract.
This is the only one we're talking about.
Yeah,
So I guess if you wanna get with Mike,
Can I, or is it you guys?
I can do it.
I think you guys have to,
and he'll type up an MOU effective whenever we sign it.
whenever you guys want to make it effective. And again, this is, I appreciate the
Yep.
getting my advice, but this is your contract.
It is, it is. So I heard the consensus. I will visit with Mike today and tomorrow and see what an MOU looks like. I'll get it to you guys for next week's agenda. He'll type it up the way he sees fit. And he will reach out to the union rep too to make sure they are fully aboard of what's going on. But this is not opening the contract. This is an MOU with said employee, Cassie Knudsen, for a one-time wage adjustment in the contract of $1. Is what I heard.
Thanks, guys. I do appreciate that. I know she will as well.
Department update, right?
I kept you guys up to date on our ins and outs of our plumbing issue with the office. I think so far so good. For those who don't know, the colder weather, we had some pipes freezing, nothing burst. David's got on top, and got things thawed out, an internal wall upstairs. How it happened, I don't know. We've had colder winters than this and never had an issue, so something going on up there. It's the biggest thing. They've got some stuff installed downstairs to help get the heat out of those server rooms downstairs, but it's just the nature of where things are at. The hottest room down there is, of course, our server room with the phone lines and all that, because it's right underneath dispatch. And that's where a lot of the steam pipes are. It's just doing our best to get it out of there. You just chasing your tails, pretty much doing it. It's made a huge difference. Those exhaust fans that have come in. So this time of year for us is a lot of trainings for our staff. To go a lot of conferences just based on the time of year, seems to work out better. So got staff busy with that. A couple off on some FMLA and some other bereavement time. So, but we're keeping things staffed accordingly. So case wise, I don't like to talk about it much because I'm kind of superstitious on that. So we're doing fine.
I was gonna ask you about that, sorry. So I saw our neighbor to the south does an annual review of caseload and arrest. And is there any way that you can maybe start doing that to give us an update?
For a report, yeah.
We get questions of, are we doing anything? You know, it'd be something to say, yeah, they are doing something, you know.
I track all the trial formations, which would be indictable offenses and all sorts of non-traffic offenses. And don't quote me on the number, but I think we did 117 last year and 120. It's within a handful the last 2 years, and the last 3 years, actually. We actually were up 40% through Memorial Day, and then it tailed off dramatically over the summer because we had staffing issues in both his office and the police department, quite frankly. I think we're large drivers of it.
Yeah.
But it picked back up again. That gets us to an average of, roughly 10 or 11 a month, and I think we did 15 or 16 in January already, so we're starting again with the same pattern as last year. So yes, it's been steady at worst.
It's just,
No noticeable decline.
if you can get us a report, just so we have some facts.
I can bring you that too. I have that.
Used to be in the past, it was in the newspaper every 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
No, yeah, way back when Jim would come in and get the pollution reports, yep.
Anything else for Ryan? I did tell, since you talked about the water pipe, Dave called me Saturday, Sunday when it was froze and stuff. Anything that happened in the attic that would cause cold air to go down that internal wall?
We took a lot of
I know,
stuff out of
you
there.
took a lot of insulation out,
No, it's the insulation out.
paper materials.
Well, yeah, probably, but it needed to go, but it's all moved downstairs now.
I'm just wondering if it would need more insulation,
Possibly.
because you took out all that uninsulated material
Mhm.
that might have stopped that air draft to go down those walls. So, I know
And
Dave,
now we're getting cold air backfeed through the air conditioning HVAC system. I have no idea how that's going in, but whatever.
yeah, so Dave,
Building 50s.
no, I get it. That's how that insulation shrinks and then the R value runs away and it goes away, but, all right, anything else for Ryan? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys.
We'll move into the budget of the discussed budget amendment number 3, because I know some of you are up here. So Sheila, we all got that email to us. So far, the request, Sheila, help me out, is the $3 million bond project, which is B-22.
Right. And then Ryan had a request.
Yep, for a vehicle, 54.5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And then county conservation has the 3 requests that have been here for about 2 months now. The truck at 55, the heat pump at 15. They're gonna open up bids tomorrow night for the heat pump, so we'll know late Wednesday of what that is gonna be. He's gonna use his budget today to pay for it, hoping that this board would do a budget amendment for the heat pump for the building. And then the transmission of the motor vehicle repair. Remember, he only had 2,000 in that line item. He spent, I think, 5,600. Oh, you got the bill right here.
Yeah.
7,600. So minus the 2,000.
Well, I put 6 in there.
Yep, 6 would be more than what the line item was, but the bill that he submitted to show us was 7,600 for that transmission.
Right.
Anybody else, Sheila?
I did, there were some people gone last week and they asked if we were gonna keep it open for just a little bit, just so that they could go through it, because they didn't have time to go through it, and I said that, well, we couldn't do anything today anyway, so.
So there was one more request I got wrote down here, Dave Gorman, I'm gonna speak on behalf of him. This older lawnmower that he uses for the county buildings, remember that bearing went out on the snow blower. Took him a long time to get it. So he's looking at, in his current budget, which I think has enough in general services, that he's looking at a new lawnmower to replace the oldest one that he has. Remember about 3 years ago, we got a brand new one when we started picking up the LEMC. So this is to replace the older one. If I would have to guess, the older one is about 12 to 15 years old.
It's got around 2,200 hours on it, I think.
Yeah.
Which one sits in our garage?
So I got a quote, I'm not gonna share it though, because I think we have to go out for other quotes too, but he would like to see a budget amendment at that 25 or 30,000, only if we need it, and we'll talk about that budget in budget work session. I don't think it needs it, because there's equipment in that budget. But just sharing it today with you guys as a request for him to go out for bids on a brand new lawnmower with cab, blower, and lawnmower deck. Otherwise, I have not heard anybody else.
No.
Again, my wish is that we would publish this on February 19th and 20th. So we have 2 more weeks yet to discuss this budget amendment if something comes up, just so we can have the public hearing on March 2nd to allow then the county conservation to go out for bids on March 3rd.
Well, and I think the person that, it was just secondary roads, and I think he's gonna look through his stuff this week. He wasn't saying he needed one, he just wanted to make sure.
So wrapping around back to the sheriff's vehicle,
I'm gonna say thing, I don't know if I'm gonna need it. Where I'm sitting, it's just this, with how my budget can be so unknown. I didn't budget for one, it's kind of why I want it, and I don't have in there to upfit it, but based on talking to Mitch and people down at Carl's, we could potentially get our hands on one in end of June, 1st of July, so we could still pay for those fiscal year, and then if we would be able to get one upfitted, it would be a discussion for next year's budget to upfit and stuff, so I can't say very comfortably that I probably get it out of this year's budget. Is it likely? It could be.
and we're sharing some numbers. I believe you stated that you'd get back about 103,000.
Between all three, GBGS and RSP, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, yeah, it could be more, it could be, there's
Yeah.
so many unknowns. You know, and a lot of my service contracts come due at the end of the year, but I've got that figured out of that number, so.
Any discussion at this time? This is a moving target of our last discussion then is just Sheila does not have it on dome yet. She just has it on a piece of paper, unless you do have it on dome.
The budget amendment? No.
Yeah. We're not quite there yet. I'm just trying to get the date set so we can vote on a budget amendment on February 16th for publication. So if you guys hear anything from anybody else, if Sheila hears anything, she'll keep, I guess you guys need more information on the request so far, and we can table up, table down on the 9th, on the 16th. You're right, we're not open the 16th, the 17th. So we need to have our ducks in a row because we need to get that to the paper by noon on Tuesday to make the 19th New Hampshire Tribune, since President's Day is the 16th. So maybe then we do need a vote on it the 9th. We'll have to talk to the paper.
Vehicle looking replaces a 19 Charger with currently 140,000 miles on it. Let's just say we would get something landed by July 1, get it in, get it updated, maybe on the road by early or late fall, early winter, and you could easily be putting 10 to 15,000 more miles on that. So just helps keep it with the pace. We average anywhere, depends on who it is, from 16 to 25,000 a year. We got a couple vehicles on pace to hit 200,000 if we keep on the 8 to 10 year rotation. So just food for thought.
Would that be the last Charger?
If correct, it would be. Yeah.
Any more discussion on the budget amendment number 3? Tentatively going to be voted on next week or the 17th for publication. All right. Check that off. Any committee assignments?
Yeah, I had quite a few. I had 91 in EMA, but I think that was pretty well covered. Also had hotel motel on the 26th. Pretty much what we did was went through the grants. I don't know if you guys want me to cover what they gave everybody. I can pass around.
You can pass it around.
What they requested, what we actually gave.
Any county agencies? I guess off the bat.
You know, most of them like city, we want to airport park, city, new light displays. So, you know,
You don't have to.
I also had pathways on the 26th as well. We approved November and December financials, also approved the 403G audit. Approved a $10,000 grant from Matthew Rollinger Fund for general operating expenses. They continue to look at employee, I know you don't like the word bonuses, but employee bonuses, no decision's been made. And they went through the EHR update. It was actually a pretty quick meeting, so.
Which one's that?
That was pathway,
Pathways, and which day was that?
the 26th as well.
I think in the CPA world, it's a one-time adjustment. Not bonus.
So I got 4 meetings. So,
All right, anybody else do any assignments?
I had Northeast Iowa Committee action on January 26th. The program funding increased November, December. State and federal funds received in January, partially because of the government shutdown. We had, talked about timing with the CPA firm with Clyde. Approved the November, December monthly financial report. And approved agency-wide annual budget. Then on January 30th, I had First District Iowa Department of Corrections board meeting. We discussed the budget. So they have $17 million in their budget. And the state Department of Corrections was giving them $94,000. We discussed, we have 7 retirements. And that's discussing that we have to pay out vacation balance and we have to pay up to $2,000 for sick pay that's due.
Thank you. Travis, any?
Nope.
We're down to this budget work session again and just asking the question. I want to be transparent, but it seemed like last week when we had budget work session, 1 or 2 members talked. I don't know how we can involve everybody. I don't know if you're scared of the owl. I don't know if you don't understand. I guess I'm trying to ask feedback. If you guys really want that owl on, most counties and cities don't in budget work session. I don't know what your guys' feelings are. I want to be transparent to you guys too.
My personal opinion, I mean, our door's open.
It is. That's the law we have provided. Isaac,
I really guess I don't care either way.
Steve?
I have no problem with it,
I guess I don't really care that much. I do think it does kind of affect some conversations, but I mean, if consensus is to keep it on, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm fine. Just be ready to talk then. It's a 5-member board. It's, this whole budget it just seems like the last 2 years since we've had the owl, a lot of things gets taken out of context, like I said last week. And we don't have a very good discussion. So if it continues this way and we don't get the answers we need, it is hard for Sheila and myself to prepare something for you guys if we don't get the answers. So go ahead, Sheila, what you have done.
well, first of all, can we go to the community service network?
Yep. Dave, this is what was sent to you a couple months ago from ISAC.
What's the 2,500, is it?
I haven't
Yeah,
heard anything else on it, there's no one else talk about it,
So
so.
they'll make us pay it?
I think we have to.
okay. I never put it in the budget, but I had never had a direction to, so I was just, that,
Me?
so.
So this would be under the standalone request, or does it come under 51?
I guess that would be
Admin
under-
cost.
I guess I would put it under 51 because everybody uses it and because it says it's for the veterans, general services, substance use disorder, judicial advocates and community service. Or should I do it under 2?
I think 51 under, where we have Mike Galloway and HR and stuff is admin for the whole county. So that needs to be added, so those are not in the budget papers.
Okay, so what I do have completed, and I had sent everybody a budget. And so this is basically, I put all the departments for, general basic, general supplemental, and rural services together. So if there's any questions about anything, we can just look at the budget right away. But on a spreadsheet note,
Yeah.
if I can get this up, and let's see, we're gonna have to bring this down a bit, no? Okay, so this is just like we did last year. We have all the departments and how much they're asking for out of general basic, general supplemental, or rural services. I have their budgets and for fiscal year 26-27, and then I have their budget for fiscal year 25-26. And then it shows the difference and what percentage they are at with your 2%. When you guys said that,
The only one that's been changed is confirmation was made that county conservation did get a $100,000 grant for that tree removal project that he's working on. So I think the only way that makes it work is it goes into his budget. That's why you see a 24% increase.
yeah, he needs to spend 100,000 to get the 100,000.
So that was a change in the presentations of budgets. The other one that is not in the worksheet is the EMC. So we can put that 65,172 in there.
Okay, let me see here.
Um,
It's in the general supplemental. So, how much is that?
65,172.
172. Okay,
So that's in there now. Yeah, so then you have the totals from GBGS.
okay, so then, just excuse the, over to the side where it says fiscal year 23, 24, I don't know why that's in there on the side here. But anyways, then, we got the figures, and then down below, we got what the ending fund balance of June 30th, 2027 would be using the new, property levy rate that they gave us of 3.39, what's it all?
508.
508. And then how much would be left in there,
806.
oh,
So that's the max levy that was set by the House File 718.
uh-huh.
Remember, it's no longer 3.5, it's 3.39806.
And so then with all the levies, I left them where they were at last year, with the exception of rural services and general basic, because those levy rates have been changed by the state. So, but at general supplemental, when you look at this, it's at the 1.85. You guys direct me to change it, I will, but just wanted to let you know, and where we're at, so, this shows how much is coming out of general basic, general supplemental, and as a total. And then we have an ending fund balance, because we had, everybody was really good, and Jake helped with going through all the,
Non-elected ones.
All the building budgets and everything. And so we're looking at pretty hefty, got close to $1 million given back. The budgets, if everybody, that's just a forecast from everybody. If they need to spend it, they need to
We
spend it.
didn't
But
touch wages, we didn't touch, pretty much what got touched in our supervisor one was $12,000. And where I came up with 12,000 was all of our mileage, hotels, training. And I didn't take it all. I took about 80% of that off for Travis, Scott, and myself. We took off some for publication. I got the sheet right here, actually. So I figured up about 13,500, but I went down to 12,000. Just an example how I figured the supervisors. So it's right here. There was room in the publication notices. I added up the mileage, the lodging, the education, came up with 13,735. I figured let's do 12,000. So if you guys want to see this, Sheila does have it. This is what the ones I went through. You guys can do it too.
And then the department heads are really good about giving me their totals. Even Matt Wiseman gave me like a 250,000 increase on revenue from what he sees for interest in that, and conservation gave, increased on revenue of 20,000. Lisa from public health gave an increase of revenues of 100,000, and, the environmental health of 25,000, which is a total of 395,000 extra in revenue that they're planning on coming in, that we did not
Above their budget. Yep. So Shawver, the sheriff department, said that he would return, the rough estimate, again, please, these numbers are rough. 75,000 give back in GB, 20,000 in GS, and RSB of 8,000. So all those numbers are intermixed with the next part of this piece of paper to explain where we came up with that $1 million. Any board member can ask for those, their working papers, always subject to clerical error. Right, Sheila?
That's right.
So,
Can I jump in? Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Buried the lead here, yeah. So at 3.39806, how much does GB bring in? It doesn't change.
What's that now?
At 3.39806,
Yep.
how much does GB bring in? It doesn't change.
Brings in without gas and electric, 3.584, 954.69
Sorry,
cents.
say again, a little slow, sorry.
3,584,954. So 3,584,954.69 cents.
And how much does GS bring in at 1.850 if you didn't change?
You would ask that.
I think I got 1.951.
So it's the same number. So 1,055,000 times 408 times 1.85. 1.951750.
Yeah, that's what I got to here.
Oh, you got them right there.
Yeah.
They're in that sheet, Dave.
Oh, no, he
Oh,
didn't get
sorry.
that
You
sheet,
didn't get that sheet.
because I haven't got
Sorry,
it cleaned up yet.
sheets, that's why I'm asking.
That's fine.
So total property tax from GBGS is then 5.536706. And that's leaving the levy rate at the current levy rate. You know, I took it all down board, down to a 2% growth on tax asking. The new levy rate would be a 1.58 for GS if we want to sustain a 2% growth of tax asking. So from the 185 down to 158. But you guys can see the ending fund balance is a lot healthier than that. I mean, I'm not probably far off of the 1.1 I said last week. And that's what we have to decide before March 5th. What that GS levy rate max should be published at. I did just want to bring this up too. If you guys see our give back of unemployment is about $55,000. Remember, we budgeted 80,000. I feel 55 will be going back to GS.
Right.
You know, moving forward to next year, we are going to budget 25,000. I'm still thinking that's awful high. Before we had layoffs in the county, we were always at that 10,000
Or 5,000.
or 5,000.
I think you guys were always at 5,000.
So, you know, again, this is what's been asked from us to present. This is the total ask. Again, with the non-departments, we've always said no to, not picking on you, Steve, or Trish, but her request is 35,9 something. We've never gave that agency a 100% request.
There's a lot of, not everybody, but we don't get nearly what they ask for.
So even if we decide today, we gave 10,000 last year, correct me if I'm wrong, even if we say we're only gonna give 20, go back to 2 years ago. That will help up this budget to be more what we're gonna do. But right now, all the documents that Sheila has prepared is the total ask,
Yep. it's
even the
all
soil and
together.
water.
Yep, I put 11,000. So if you look down on the spreadsheet of the sheet number 1, I have rural services down here. And I did put soil conservation of 11,000 in there. We got what the sheriff department asked for, the libraries. We moved the intercog to rural services from general basic.
Because they build the cities too.
And we got recycling, we got planning commission, we got the hazmat, we got the amount That's secondary roads that requested.
Can I stop you right there?
Yep.
So I did a percent from that number to what current is. That is an 8.5 increase. Because remember, we had a nice evaluation growth. So because of the levy rates, we went down, but he stayed at that $3.38, which he doesn't like us talking about this, but this is 100%. Last year was the first year we did it, I believe. But that went up over $190,000 or an 8.5% increase to the secondary road fund. Maybe some movement, but we don't know of road conditions and the cost of roads and bridges. So just pointed out that one went up 8.5. If the state does do a 2% growth on RSB, that will not happen in the years to come. So that's one thing. So then you can see Sheila's total. Go ahead now. 2.752.
Yeah. Yep, so I have the total of expenditures coming out of rural services as $2,752,981. If we leave rural services at the new levy rate of 3.39806, then we should get $2,637,755 from
Taxpayers.
property taxes there. And so the difference between what we receive from property tax at that levy rate and our expenditures, there's a difference of $115,225, and that's what we're short. But we have a good fund balance because we come into July 1st, 25 with $765,504. We received revenues of 2.6 million. Let's see.
So
And then we added back the EMS payment that we were not gonna, we're not gonna be paying. And horticulture and the sheriff had 8,000 coming back. So then as of the 26th of June 30th of 2026, our balance should be $799,640. We had 26-27 revenues at the new factor, and we did again $2,637,755 plus other revenues that come in like excess tax and that. And our expenditure, so at the end of June 30th, 2027, our new balance should be $864,324.
or a 31.4% ending fund balance.
Correct.
So can we balance the budget with ending fund balances? Yes. It's just how much ending fund balance do we want to continue to use? Or I believe the governor's bill says you can only have 10% ending fund balances. So we're gonna have to spend out.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
just a second here, I need to put this new one in here.
The library, even, wasn't it
Okay.
$134?
It's just gotta be a little less there.
Libraries,
I have them in there for what,
but they asked for a 3% increase if my memory shares.
Yeah.
I think that number is right. Remember we brought them back last year a little bit.
do you want me to look at that contract?
It's here somewhere. Go ahead.
What's the revenue from GB at this point?
Go back to your, right.
For the property tax?
No, I have that 3.584 million. What's the revenue from the departments?
That's coming back.
Trying to figure out how close you are to balancing GB and GS if you are.
128 was.
I don't have all those numbers, I can go to Dome to get it.
Oh, that's good.
Wouldn't
No,
you
let's-
ask for it?
Let me go to Dome.
What the revenue is for GB.
I bet you I can.
I'm sorry.
How close are you to balancing your budget in GB and GS?
Uh,
You're 110,000 off.
Oh, it's pretty
RSP,
close,
you know that.
it's really close.
Well, that's what I'm getting. Probably wants to know, that's the headline is, are you close to balancing?
Oh, it's really close there.
So,
Sheriff out of our rural services in balance.
oh, I know, I haven't said that yet, that's a good point. Move sheriffs back out, so I don't have to pay double taxation.
Okay, now, I can only answer one question at
I
a time.
want to bring that up too, but you did already.
I mean,
I told Sheila that Thursday, and she said, I can't do nothing until the full board hears it. So the total sheriff, I think, is 162.
So
I
let's
believe
see,
GBGS
there we
could
go.
easily take care of that this year.
I mean, we put it in ours, we helped out the last couple of years, I think now it's time to go back.
I think sure to get consensus for that.
Okay, I'm still on Dave's
I
question,
know.
please. I feel so slow, you guys. You guys.
Sorry, I'm gonna get ahead of
No,
Fine.
because I was wondering if I should put that, and I was
the, okay.
going back and forth, but if you look at,
So this is Department of Management, this
this is,
where
the
she-
yeah, the Department of Management, if you look at, like, my revenues and coming in, let's see here, if I can get this all the way down. So my total revenues and other sources is gonna be this is just general basic. It's gonna be 5,717,844. 5717844. And if you want a general supplemental at the same, just the general supplemental is 2,267,176. 2267176. And that's at the 1.85 levy rate.
And then the beginning of fund balance on July 1st, which is our new potential ending fund balance, is add those two together. 3.6 and 1.1 is 4.7 mil. As an ending 7 mil, as an ending fund balance.
So it's 3.6, but if you go down to the ending fund balance for 27,
It really doesn't change much.
it doesn't change much. So that's where you know you got a pretty balanced budget.
Revenues for GS are 200,000 more than what the expenses are.
And about 100,000 light on GB.
So yeah, if you go to the 27 ending fund balance, which means everybody spends every penny in their budget next fiscal year, they're still healthy, 3.519, 1.347. And I think I figured that out. Yeah, you did, about a 62%. I did 62% ending fund balance for next fiscal year.
So,
So that's where we have movement to put the sheriffs back into GBGS and potentially some capital projects of,
can I ask can we go through this to make sure we got the right totals you guys want in there?
yeah.
And then, if you guys want me to move anything,
Can we go insurance quick?
oh, what?
Yeah, health insurance.
Okay,
So just a recap on health insurance. We asked everybody to do a 6%. We gave them new numbers. Really, most budgets were not at 6%
Right.
because of the 5% was left in from last year.
mhm.
You guys saw the new numbers from Denise that Travis gave us, I believe, a week ago, 2.53 is what Walmart is going up.
Well, yeah.
So that's Walmart's. That does not give any extra money to the trust fund. Whenever Denise gets your meeting done, is that next week?
Yeah, 12 and 13.
She'll come up and do county presentations, but we need to figure out if we're gonna keep all budgets at 6%. I figured if we leave them at 3% increase, which I know is a lot of work for Sheila to go back and decrease it, I think it'll give us a healthier GS. That will still give about $15 into new money into the PSF per family. So we just have to make a decision. Do we want to keep the 6% in there? Or do we want to have a true picture if we actually, 6% is too much. We know that now, right?
So we only had a 3% increase?
I'm just talking, right? We're just talking. Right now, all budgets have a 6% or the new numbers in there. Because remember, when the county's paying out 1.1 million in health insurance, you lower that by 3%, that's less money, right? So just something to think about in future discussions about where health insurance is gonna fall into GS. So you wanted to go to the non-departments now. Well, let me find that packet. So the first sheet we do every year is your EMA. So we got that number, right? 65 something?
72.
So on the second page is your council on aging bus is no longer being provided. So council on aging, I don't think he ever requested anything, but last year we gave him 2,600. Am I right or wrong? I don't think he requested a number.
Last year, you mean?
No, when he presented a budget request.
I thought, didn't you say 7,000?
Yeah, I thought it was
I made a mistake.
Yeah. I have to look at that because I wrote down ship and 7,000.
So you guys wanna go back to that? They do house our elections twice a year.
We pay rent on half of that, so, no?
No. I've been asked this, it's open to anybody in Chickasaw County to rent that building, it's there for anybody in Chickasaw County. I know it is in New Hampton. You guys remember his presentation of the cost per month to run that building, to heat it. I guess I'm looking for a consensus, these are all consensus numbers. You guys wanna give the 2,600, or you wanna go back up to the 7,000 where we were in 24, 25? Or anywhere in between, anywhere less. This is in council on aging for the event center.
I'm good with 2,600, to be honest with you. I know it's open to be rented by all county residents, and so it's the Welcome Center in Nashville and the Community Center in Fredericksburg, and they are good limit any money now, they haven't come and asked either, but.
I'm with you. I brought it up, yep.
That'd be fine with me.
26,
Yeah.
2,600 for the Chickasaw Event Center, also known as council on aging. Next, third page, Cedar Valley, didn't know requests, and this is, next one is Northeast Side Community Action. You can see in the past, remember, we do let them have 2 office spaces, potentially a third one pending at the Heritage Center. Their request I wrote down was 35,306. Because when I go back to the 25,000 or the 20 or 10. And I'll just make a blanket statement, a lot of these nonprofits are getting a lot less funds from the feds and the state. Doesn't mean we have to match or take that gap, but that's what a lot of these nonprofits are feeling the pinch on the feds and the state. Any movement on Northeast Iowa Community Action? Steve, right, they also get money from some cities in the county?
Yeah.
But, yeah. What would the county like to give? This comes out of general basic. Again, all this discussion is pending public hearing, board approval.
And we cut it back a long ways last year, I almost think we maybe should bump it back some.
I would agree.
Go back to the 20.
Like,
That'd be okay, going back to the 20.
Travis said
Years
15.
past.
Travis, yeah, you said 2015.
Yeah.
Scott. She was very appreciative of the 2 rental places. We charge them $1. The county pays for everything. Snow, heat, electricity.
I'm good with 15.
So you said 20?
15 is fine.
15.
Okay.
Let's do 15.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate what they do. Next one I got is the Big Four Fair. They really didn't come out.
They didn't ask, so I stuck 8 in.
You stuck 8,000 in there.
Because we had to keep it in.
Yeah, last year we gave 3,000.
Did I stick 8 in?
It all depends with the weather when they have that Big Four Fair. It really does. They are getting people to rent more of that heated and cooled new building they built.
But they do have some expenses with that too.
They do.
I put 8 in there.
I believe the statute states that we have to fund, we don't have to, but if they ever go defunct, the county will be taking over that area. And so I'm glad that the 4-H board, the Big Four Fair board has a purpose and they do things. I guess any movement on funding the Big Four Fair?
I'd probably go up to 5, but from the 3 that we paid last year.
Travis?
That's where I'm at 5.
Yeah, we give it 5.
Yeah, I'd be fine with 5.
4-H premiums, they do a good achievement fair for those young people. Again, I will support that they're the future of the county and the state. Last year we gave them 5. They did request 10 is what I wrote down. I still like to see them maybe go out and reach out to some of the other nonprofits, example, Farm Bureaus, corn, pork, beef, whatever. How much tax dollars do you want to give the 4-H premiums? Last year was 5, they requested 10. Last year before that, we gave them 9. Membership was going down a little bit, or kids that are active.
There isn't as many kids out there.
What's that?
There isn't as many kids out there either.
Good point.
I don't know, we go back to 4 or 7 and 23.
7 for a long time. Looks like those 10 years, 12 years was 7.
I'd be fine with that.
7?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah.
7, yeah, 7.
Library strictly come out of RSB, so this is a rural tax base only. They asked for a 3% increase, so the new total was $167.63. Again, these guys are seeing the cuts from the state, some of their grants. We can have this debate every year. Strictly RSB tax authority. How much would you like to fund to prepare the budget for public hearing?
I would go along with the 3% increase.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Travis?
That's fine.
Yep. They put that 3% in there, so 128,068. Soil conservation, we gave him 4 the last 3 years. He did request 11. Strictly out of RSB. So they were at 9,000 for a very long time, up until 2020. Then it went from 7 down to 5, down to 4.
I think they do a lot of things in the schools. I'd be okay with going back tonight.
Back to 9.
They use their money for scholarships, don't they?
They do, like 2,500 of it. And they are voted in by the people to be on that board. You said 9?
Yeah.
You okay with that, or
Yeah, I'd be okay with that as well.
Steve?
I'd be double than last year's, but
8?
I'd go 8,000.
That's fine, Steve. That's fine.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
8,000. Riverview Center. They requested 5, they were at 3,000. Dave, help me out, is that the one that you use a lot?
Riverview sex offense, thankfully we use them less than we do helping services. Helping services we use them victim, witness coordinator services, so that's the more valuable of the two from our perspective. So we use them often.
So Riverview was at 3, they requested 5, Helping Services was at 5, they requested 5. So let's do Riverview
I keep
Center.
telling them to ask for more, so constantly.
It's hard to get more when they don't request.
I know, I don't disagree with you.
So
They're worthy of it.
Riverview Center, 3,000, keep them at 3.
I'd say that's it, 3, yeah.
That's good, and then Helping Service are at 5, we gave them 5, they requested 5, so
I would say give them 5.
keep it the same. This is where, please bring back RC&D. So, anybody know what the request was? What did you put in the budget?
6,000,
So you put in the budget right now, 6,000,
right.
last year gave them 4.
Mhm.
Anybody know what other counties do? Do they always give what requested? Okay. Do they work on a lot of grants too and funding from the feds, I suppose?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They're always helping me, it's fine, but.
I guess you serve on that, Travis?
Yes.
What do you think?
I don't know.
It was 6,000 for many years, and it went to 6,250 to cover that Turkey River watershed. That's a standalone line item now. They requested 6.
5?
Yeah, I don't care.
It's fine with me.
Do 5,000. Upper water,
Yeah, I
sorry.
haven't got anything on the upper river watershed.
I thought
15, 20, I think is what they asked
request.
per capita, because they want to, we've been getting 600 forever.
Give them 600 again?
Yeah.
$600. And the Turkey River, that's at 250 they added 2-3 years ago.
I thought they went to 600, if I remember right.
Do we have a letter from, is that Paul?
Well, that'd be,
You serve on that one, Travis?
Yeah.
Turkey?
yeah. I mean, 250 is fine with me also. I want to say it was 600.
You guys wanna do the 250? Cause the Wapsie one doesn't request nothing, does it? It does?
You have another, yeah,
Yeah, they send water out.
yeah. I haven't seen
Okay,
mine.
so the other watershed, Cedar.
See, we
No,
don't have fiscal agents. so they
Yeah,
can ask
no,
That's why. Cause we have 3 watersheds. Do we wanna just do them all the same, or is one more important than the other one? I don't know. I just think if there's a natural disaster of flooding,
Well, turkey floods every year, so like,
Yeah, I guess Wapsie cuts right through the middle of the county, so it's probably got more square
Area.
miles of watershed.
so you guys want 250 then?
Yeah.
250 for Turkey?
It's good.
You good? And then last one I think is the foster grandparents. They requested 5,000. It seems like last year when you give them nothing, I don't see nothing in the budget. They did come up and present. They are in more schools and Head Start. They're out of Charles City area, is the headquarters. What's your feeling on
It's a couple thousand.
2,000? That's
Split it, it's like 2,500 for me.
2,500, do
2,500.
2,500
Yeah.
out of GB.
I mean, it is a great program.
Oh, it is. And they get paid $4 an hour,
Oops, it's 25.
2,500 for foster care.
Let's put 75,000.
I think that's it.
By your commentary.
So that one is a standalone levy rate. Sheila will enter that. I think they requested the same 62.
Do we have Northeast Iowa aging, on the aging?
Oh,
Is that the other?
no, you're right. So they did come up. They're,
She asked for 2,400, didn't she?
A thousand.
last year we did 1,000.
Yeah.
Did I hear 1,000?
I'd say, yeah.
Okay, $1,000. So that'll fix up some of the stuff to get those more firm numbers in there.
Okay,
So our next goal is then to, I guess, let's go back to RSP. Did I hear a consensus when Sheila was doing something else about moving 162 back into GBGS?
I would say, yeah, I think it's.
So let's see the new numbers next week when that move is done. That might balance out RSB, but it'll also give a little bit more ending fund balance in RSB. So you might go from 28%. So I'm just saying, we could look at lowering the levy rate if that's what we want to do with RSB. If we are indeed giving 100% to secondary roads. If we're gonna give that 2.33 million, about an 8.5% increase out of RSB. Any discussion on, I think the unemployment compensation is high, unless you guys see something I don't see coming.
I think that needs to come down.
I agree.
So
what would you like it at?
we were always at,
Do you want 5,000?
that's where we were always at for
Can we do
8.
10, just be safe?
We can do 10.
Well, it's just that if, and I know there's not that many people that are unemployed, but if they leave a job, then they come back on us for,
A quarter.
yeah, so I was just,
You guys okay with 10 then? To see
or
where,
I guess we could do it. Like
10. So put 10,000 in unemployment compensation or GS. What else is my notes here? You're gonna move the sheriffs all into GBGS.
Correct.
And then where are you guys looking at? This is hard to see now because we made a lot of adjustments today. If you go back to this, I say it's an annual worksheet of tax asking. You know, the sheet that shows the history of the county for many years. Where you guys want to sit at a potential tax asking? Do you guys really want? I received a lot of phone calls, say 5, 6 over the weekend, relief property tax. Not reform it, just relief it, you know? When all of our evaluations went up, do we really need to collect $500,000 of new taxation? You know, with some of these healthy ending fund balances. So it's gonna be discussion next week to see where, again, March 5th is when we have to get the max levies to the auditor. We have 3 more weeks. And then back to departments. Is there any department that you think in that worksheet, if you can go back up to that sheet, let's see all the percents of change. Are you okay then for some departments that came in over that 2%? Example, ourselves.
Can you guys see it all right?
The treasurer,
Oops,
the recorder was up. Nope, sorry. Veterans Affairs was up 6%. Public health was up 7%. And then some like law enforcement building was up 7%. You guys want to see infrastructure done, or do you want those building departments back down to 2%? I guess, is there any area in this budget where you want them to come back up? but I'm just gonna state this. You know, we did ask for a 2% growth and some went over, so are we okay with that? Or do we? Remember, a lot of those departments I mentioned are staff, not heavy, but mostly staff wages.
Yeah, we made it kind of difficult for them, some of them, when we said that we're gonna go with the 4% pay increase.
Yep,
But a lot of them were even able to stay under that 2%.
you're gonna hear a disagreement though with that some maybe had more fluff than the others. So they can dissolve the 4% increase compared to the other ones that cut. So that's what I hear. So that's why it's tough. Not to say anything wrong.
Well, it's not always apples to apples.
Correct. Good point. So with the new numbers that we all just discussed this morning, is there anything else that needs to be looked at, moved around? I think we're doing a great job. I think the timeline is great yet. It's just, we have nothing in here for buildings. Did you put anything into capital projects?
No, I did not, because we were talking about the user levies.
Yeah, I know. So we can put something into capital projects from the ending fund balance or in this budget. If we indeed want to get something done.
Oh, here's Boston Betterment.
I don't think you put anything in the,
I didn't,
you just have the revenue coming in from land rent and
yeah.
then the cooler on the courthouse, whatever doesn't get spent out of there.
Yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah. So, you know, we're still gonna have a balance of what, 240 in capital projects without even putting money into it. So this just opens up the thing that you guys are all invited to on February 16th at the local chapter of Iowa Farm Bureau. They're gonna come with charts, they're gonna come with the Department of Management of ending fund balances. And a lot of those questions are, why are we reserving a lot of cash when we have no purpose for a project? So when they start looking at these numbers, what would you say if they ask you that, what are you gonna do with a 62% ending fund balance? I'm just asking. Dave asked it last week. I think everybody wages, some of the private are not happy with that. I've heard of these 4% rate increases, but we are pretty low to what I hear from other counties. Not just us, even other elected officials, or either other clerks, or I think we moved some people up that are way behind, like head custodian, as an example. I guess any other movement we need to get done for you guys for next week's discussion, or let Sheila reorganize everything, put all the new numbers in, and most likely what we just did today is gonna make it look better yet.
Yeah, because I put full amounts in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
By my math, if you kept RSP at the mandated number and GB at the mandated number and GS at that same number as last year, if you did that, which you know you don't want to do, you're, between the three of them, you're about $6,000 ahead to balance your budget, between all three, GS and RSP.
Correct. And
You're essentially a balanced budget between the three.
yep, but with all the ending fund balances that are huge yet.
Correct.
So then you relieve taxpayers because what are they getting for their money? Right? Go ahead.
So
You want to go where I'm going?
I think it's, you know, you're supposed to take care of the county, also the infrastructures need to be fixed. We got some things that are gonna be pretty sizable costs that once you guys put a plan together and get it together, I don't think your ending fund balance is gonna seem so big.
So I did pose this to Dave, and maybe this is a time to discuss referendums or approval from the public, and maybe we're not quite there yet on your
No, it's
research.
fine. You called me Friday morning, so I researched it. And my conclusion is the opposite of what was concluded before. Before, I think the guidance was if you're gonna go over the number in 331 for,
This is for a capital project, building project.
My opinion is that is under the chapter for public construction bidding.
Okay.
So that only, or excuse me, under the chapter for bonding, so that only covers bonding. I think if you guys wanna spend your money that has been saved over the years, you can do so without the public's vote. You still have to follow the same procedure you would for any other building.
Statewide bid.
Public bidding and have a public hearing, but it doesn't require approval. So if you wanted to build $1 million building with the money you have left over, you can do so without putting it to the voters themselves. I talked to the AG's office Friday morning, or afternoon, and it was the first time they'd been asked that because apparently you guys, good job, somebody has enough money in savings basically to do that. They said that's a unique situation. But they agreed with my reading. I do have a call into ISAC, the attorney's down there to ask them as well.
Okay, perfect.
But
So it
once
was,
I get all everyone else's approval, I think that's the direction I'm moving.
it was brought up to me by Sheila, maybe it's time to build a project around the historic courthouse of Chickasaw County and get a concrete project done and get maybe the windows done. But that will take preparation for an architect, contractors. Do we want to throw just throwing this out there, 1.5 million into a capital project to lower ending fund balance and to have a set project so we can start construction, say, February, March of 27? I know it's a lot of money.
I don't think we got too much pushback with the public that we're putting money into this courthouse.
I don't think so either. Again, think about what needs to go in the current engineer's office, this current room. If you guys haven't been down to the treasurer, he's doing a good job of downsizing filing cabinets he took down the glass. It opened up that office. So I'm just gonna say, there's room here to move agencies, county. No. Could EMA work out of here? I don't know, right? I won't ask the other.
I know, I was just looking at him, he was just like.
We also have some massive infrastructure issues across the street.
We do.
But in theory, you can tap ARPA or not ARPA, excuse me.
TIF.
TIF, it's long gone. You can tap TIF for that, but you couldn't tap TIF for some of the other buildings.
So I'm just asking, would it be okay then for Sheila to put 1.5 million into capital project fund and see what that looks like next week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with it too.
No, I think Steve's right. I don't think the public's gonna get too upset over it. I mean, it's the choice between letting it crumble or keep it up.
So I was told, and maybe they're watching next door, but there's a couple windows in the engineer's office that you open, you might be ready to want to catch it when you open it. So we can't have that.
I use a suction thing.
That is what I use.
Why is it that?
The discussions we have, is like, on this board, is that the windows are in bad shape and need to be replaced.
Yep.
I think because we have the money, it's probably time to start budgeting it.
Yeah, so I think if you want to put 1.5 out of the ending fund balance and then we can always do transfers. This county was well known for transferring money July 1st out of GB to pay some GS claims or move some of those GS claims into GB so we don't have to transfer the money. Example, state DHS, other buildings like that. Clerk of court. Doesn't say we have to leave that 30,000 in GS. That can easily be coming out of GB, So we can pay the insurance that's budgeted in GS. We can move. The state looks at GBGS as just a supplemental. You said that last week.
Yeah,
Well,
they see it as.
Everything's
They
paid
see
out
that.
of GS.
Yeah.
Can
So
theoretically be paid out of GB.
correct. Anything else, Sheila, that you think you're missing or?
And actually, if you guys wouldn't mind, I would probably like to just leave the stuff in GS and if we could just do a transfer.
And we can.
Yeah, and then just, Elshire was moving back and forth.
Yep.
And then your budget statements start looking funny. But,
What was Chad's vision on 100,000? So we have to budget for it out of GB.
well, and,
And then he's gonna get the money back from the grant to
right, and
refund
it's
us.
gonna go into the revenue for GB.
Okay.
So we talked it over and everything, but so that's where you budget everything is out of his GV, because we couldn't really do it out of the other accounts that he has at his access, because. But I can show you guys with it in and with it out, so you can see what percentage he's at without it. And so the revenue that I gave David would have that 100,000 in there as revenue too. You know, when you guys asked me on the dome what the revenue was, all the sources and everything. So, but, I can redo this 2 ways, so then you guys can see what his percentage is, so you know exactly what it is. Because $100,000, you're not gonna do that, right?
No.
So you guys want me to take the sheriff out, can I recap?
Yep.
Okay. Take the sheriff out of rural services and put it in GV. Take the unemployment down to 10,000 and transfer 1.5 million from general basic to capital funds, and then have a account for general services, okay. And was there anything else with her?
And then do all those.
Oh, yeah, and do my non-departments, and then I'm gonna be entering the,
Gotta have this one too.
the community service network to it, okay. Is there anything else you guys need?
I don't know if this is your working paper, what you gave me,
It is a working paper.
but put the revenues on there somewhere nice.
Oh, yeah, instead
Yeah.
of anything.
See them on that way, you can see how close you are to balance.
Okay, yep, will do. I had them, I just didn't have them on that.
Right. You have a whole bunch of ending fund balance of what percentages in prior years, but I wanna know what this year looks like. If possible, the taxpayer.
Yep, not a problem. So, okay, anything else?
Anything else on budget work session? I do have an FYI though. So some of you don't know this, but there was an insurance claim filed last week at the Heritage Center again for the frozen coil. When we had that cold snap, the damper on that south wing in the basement was malfunction. It was open, so all that cold air rushed into the chiller, which indeed froze the coil. They had water and antifreeze in the basement, which that's what Dave believes and the contractor believes that shut down the boilers. They went out there, I think it was on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and it was only 40 degrees in the building. As of right now, there's no other pipes that we know of is frozen or broken, but Dave called me, and I know Donna had filed a claim with Heartland for the coil itself. It's about 5 weeks out and up to, I think, $3,000 to $4,000 just for the coil. Hopefully there's nothing else damaged at the Heritage, but just wanted to inform you guys that there's an insurance claim out there
So I'll have to check
for a
the
broken
budget,
coil.
make sure that it's.
I think the Heritage, so again, with whatever Heartland does, last time we paid all the claims up front and they gave us an insurance check back. So we might have to add a budget amendment to the Heritage because of this frozen. Since then, Dave has closed off that damper. The damper's only needed for people living there to bring in fresh air. So right now that damper is pretty much 90% closed. Still bringing a little bit in, but not all the cold air into that area. So just to let you guys know that there was a water froze coil burst last, I think it was Monday. Future agenda items, we do have the bids coming back for the courthouse electrical panels this Friday. That'll be on the 9th, and then we have a whole bunch of stuff to do about the TIF B22 project not to exceed the $3 million. I've talked to Travis and Jason, they're all on board to get Sheila the documents. And some mechanism about a 10-year loan and, anyway, we'll see that next week. Anything else
No, I was just gonna go through this.
right now?
Well, that's the sprinkler, or it's
The
the,
Heritage budget?
yeah, cause here's where we're at.
So what I put down in the Heritage budget to give back was, and like I said, this is all subject to movement.
I got it right here, so. 26, you got 5,000,
So, yeah,
so you take it out of.
right now I only figure about 5,000 to come back because there's a staff out of that budget.
Mhm.
So there's really not much room to pay for anything more than the coil.
Okay, cause here's
There
where,
is something.
We might have to do something. My first thing is they're checking there's 3 heaters up in the attic because of all the sprinkler systems up there. They were gonna check that this week to see, I even told them to call, the sprinkler system guy to flush new water out, so we don't have the old cold water in that sprinkler system like we had, 2 years ago. So Dave's been working down there closely, just letting you guys know that there was an issue, and hopefully that's not more of an issue. And that's the thing with the Heritage Center, Dave is learning, because that was not his responsibility up until 3 years ago. And it was cold. What do we have, -40 degrees that morning? Anyway, anything else for future agenda items? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Is there a second? Motion by Travis, second by Scott to adjourn 11:16. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion is carried.
Well,